Here's something unique. This is the inside of solar panels. I've never done this one before, so we'll figure it out together. Got a couple solar panels. Really, the reason I want to possibly cut them up here is for shipping purposes. So once I cut these, we'll weigh them, see how much copper we got. Put these 3 sheets in and see what they give us for them. So looking at it, they're gonna give me either copper 1 or copper 2. There's some grommets out here. On here I can take apart. There's definitely some copper 2 on the welds there, but moreover, it's not a great way to ship these things out. So my theory is if I snip these things down, then I can just fold that shit in half. So if we look here, if you wanna bring the camera in tight, we got, so this is copper, tears real easy. Pipes here are copper. I mean, it looks tarnished, not painted or stained. I'll cut these down. I'm gonna take a look. It might be all copper 1. Let's cut them and see what happens. Little trick, years and years of working with power tools, especially when you're working in and around a warehouse. So you tie these in a knot first, and then you plug them in together. That way, they're gonna fall apart. All right, typically out in the field, we use cordless tools. Here in the warehouse, whenever I can, I want to use a corded tool, because corded tools, they got more sustainable power, more consistent power. We'll get to it. The other thing is, when you saw me start, when I was on the left side there, my left hand on the saw, because that had the 2 pipes on it. There was rigidity. There's a reason why I started on the left, because then I can make my cuts, and then by the time I come over to the right side, as you saw as I was cutting, the rigidity went away. So now my left hand, non-dominant hand, is free to hold the material. Little things like that, years and years and years of doing stuff, I always work left to right for that exact reason, because I want to be able to use my non-dominant hand to hold things if needed. Yeah, the whole goal here of making these videos is so we can all share best practices, you know? To get rid of the grommets, just cut them off, or probably the snips. Snips are always your best friend. A little snippy snip, and then I'll cut off that end. The rest of this thing is clean. Like, there's not much weight there with these grommets, but that gives a scrapyard a reason to say you suck. And I pride myself on taking in good loads of scrap. When you take the time to clean up the things that are otherwise considered insignificant to other people, scrapyards notice. Chop saw, DeWalt chop saw. What I'm doing here, cutting away the copper 1, like I like this, is good clean copper from what I can see. Copper 1 from the copper 2 where there's obvious solder marks. So you take, these things were, what are these, 2 pounds a piece? You don't want, 95% of it is copper 1. I don't want to get dinged when all I gotta do is make 1 cut. All right, come over here. Here's our pallet scale. So whenever we send out pallets of e-waste scrap, we always weigh them. I'm gonna weigh this. There's 3 of them. They're the exact same thing. I want to get a good idea of how much these things weighed. So we got 22 pounds. There we go. So 26 pounds of copper. We'll call it $3 a pound because it makes my math simpler. 78 pounds, 3 of them. And at $3 a pound, we're talking 220 bucks. 226 bucks. Is that right? 224? Yeah, 224. 75, 3, 220, hold on, what the fuck did I say? 228.
That is correct.
Carry the 1, 76 pounds, 228. I'll put this whole thing on the top of my load, and then I'll say, hey, what are you gonna give me for this? I don't wanna mix it in with my load and fight it later. There you go, that's how you process the inside of solar panels. Never done that before. 75, 3, 220, hold on, what the fuck did I say?